anything planned today, but I do know that we need dessert. And I also know that usually around this time of year, I start testing out new recipes for the holidays. And I've never tried chocolate sugar cookies before. So this is my time to test a recipe, see if I like it, see if I need to tweak it before the holidays come around and I start baking to give away to friends and neighbors. So let's see how that's going to go. Join me. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take 2 sticks of room temperature butter, which is 1 cup of butter. And I'm going to mix it with a cup of sugar, like you do for regular sugar cookies. Now this butter was cold when I decided to make cookies, so I rolled it together in my hands to soften up the edges, and then the dishwasher had just stopped, and it was just finished the steam cycle, so it was nice and hot and steamy in there. So I put them in the bowl, stuck them in there for a minute to get soft. Hey, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I'm going to add to this 1 cup of sugar. And deck the halls. I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't know. I'm trying a new angle a little bit higher. I don't know what's going on. I do know that this bowl was too small for this, but whatever. I'm going to beat in 1 egg at a time. Eggs sinking to the bottom really get on my dang nerves. It's kind of boring cooking without the Gothic witch here. She tends to make things a little more fun. I'm not as fun as she is. We're going to add 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. And we're going to set this aside for a minute. Next, what we're going to do is our dry ingredients. We're going to take 2 1/4 cups of flour, which I hope I don't have to open up my flour thing for this, but I might have to. Yikes. 1. Might have just enough. And then we're going to take 1 cup of cocoa. I still have a little bit in here, so I need to get the rest of that out first. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Pretty sure it was half. Yeah. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And I will post the recipe. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Why is that acting like it was wet? It's humid in here because of the steamer, I guess. And then we're going to sift that together naturally. Oh my god, I've got so many dishes to do, I don't even want to think about it. It's crazy. So I'm just going to give this a little mix just because it didn't all sift together. I want to make sure it's well incorporated. Look how pretty that flour is. See that? Smells delicious. And technically you're supposed to add it a little bit, but since I was a mook and put these ingredients in the small bowl because I'm just not thinking today, I'm just going to dump it all in here and we're just going to get started on this. I mean, after all, what could go wrong? Wink, wink. Besides a flour bomb in the kitchen. Sometimes I do not feel like being conventional. You know, sometimes we just gotta do our thing. I'm just gonna start out slow. Start to get a little thicker. When you hear that tone change, you want to up your power a little bit on your mixer. See, it's starting to get good and wet now. I'm going to stop for a minute. I see some butter that's attached to the tops of these. I want to get this off. I want to make sure all this gets incorporated. And the bottom of the bowl has got dry. I want to scrape that, make sure all those ingredients are getting up in there. And you know how egg likes to hide at the bottom as well. Woo, see all that dry right there? I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's dry. Yikes. Holy crap, that smells like the thickest, richest brownie you'll ever eat. It smells really good, y'all. So even though I can't taste it yet, I like the way this dough smells. It's nice. Get out. That was a little bit of the gothic witch coming out. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. And to make sure before you undo your beaters, if you have a hand mixer, that you unplug it first, because let me tell you something. One time, this was when I was still figuring out how to cook. I had it plugged in first, and I went to push the beaters in, and the way I held it and I went to push the beater in, it turned it on, and my finger was caught in it. Luckily, it hit it on low, and luckily my finger slowed it down, but I could have easily lost my finger that way. So I've been very vigilant about making sure the beater is turned off, is totally unplugged before I either add or take out the beaters, because that's just, y'all, that was scary, I'm not lying. This is a very sticky dough. But like most sugar doughs, we're going to, ooh, see how, wow, that's very sticky. That's almost like fudge. It does, it feels like a brownie dough. It's like putting your hands in brownie dough. But like most sugar cookie dough, I'm going to go wash my hands, get some plastic wrap. I'm going to separate this into two things, and it's going to have to chill. Alright, so like I said, like sugar cookie dough, normal sugar cookie dough, this is really a sticky dough. This is way stickier than white sugar cookie dough, and I'm not really sure why, but it is. I'm going to separate that and wrap it up. And maybe it's sticky because of how wet I had my butter. I don't know. But my butter wasn't really melted. It was just soft. So I don't know. Go figure. But yeah, this will definitely need a good chilling. And then after we chill it for about an hour to let those fats solidify again, then we're going to take it out and we're going to roll and cut cookies. And I hope they're good. I really do hope that they're good, because even though I'm not a massive chocolate person, I know Matt loves chocolate cookies, and I want him to have a new, he would be excited to come home to a new cookie that he's never had before. So, and that makes me excited if I make something I know he's going to like. It's all that I scraped off the sides. Alright, there we go. Into the refrigerator for an hour, and I'll be back. Okay, this has been chilling for, I guess, close to an hour. It's still really soft. I think it's because of the 2 eggs. But I read the recipe right, so we'll see how it goes. You know that I've used my tape together paint sticks, and that's going to make it a 1/4 inch thick. So this is still really sticky, so I don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to try it real quick. I'm just going to do the oven on 350. The recipe where I saw these, the girl did it at 200 Celsius, which is like 392 degrees. I'm not baking cookies at 400 degrees. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to put these in at 350 and see how long it takes to cook them. Alright, I'm just going to do some, yeah, see how that sticks? Woo, that's sticky. I do not know if this is going to work. I'm not real happy that it's not lifting out and it's sticking. Oh God, this dough is a nightmare, I think. I will definitely be freezing these cookies for sure before I pop them in the oven. I keep thinking, did I miss an ingredient? Because they're so damn sticky, but I didn't miss an ingredient. Sugar cookies are usually 1 egg and like 3 cups of flour. This was 2 1/4 cups of flour because it was a cup of cocoa powder and 2 eggs. And I think the 2 eggs is definitely the culprit here. But I'm going to bake them anyway, and we're going to see. This will be my first test pan. I'm going to pop these in the freezer. They do smell good though, I'll give them that. They smell real good. Fucking cornmeal. Hopefully that'll shut. Okay. I'm going to leave them in the freezer for, I think, about 10 minutes because holy shit. Okay, I have to say that those cookies were a pain in the ass to roll out. I ended up, after I cut off the camera, I ended up adding, it was sticking to my parchment paper, so I ended up adding flour to the parchment paper and then sprinkling a little flour on top, which I generally do not like to do because usually it makes cookies tough if you add more flour, but it did seem to help a little bit, so I've got all of them cut out and in the freezer and in the refrigerator, so I guess I'll show you after I bake them and we'll see what the results are. So I ended up baking them for 12 minutes because you know how hard it is to tell when a chocolate cookie is starting to get brown on the bottom? But they seem to be fine. I'm going to take a bite. Oh my God. It's worth the trouble. These are like thin, crispy brownies with soft insides. Okay. These don't need frosting. If you wanted to frost them, I guess you could. They might be good drizzled in a dark chocolate ganache. Matt is gonna have a fit over these cookies. They are not gonna last. I guarantee you, this batch will be gone by this time tomorrow night. Holy crap, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna put the recipe down. Yes, they were sticky and a pain in the ass to roll out, but holy shit, they are so good. I'm not a big chocolate fan, but that's one of the best cookies I've had in a while. That's really good. Y'all have got to try them. Oh my god, you've got to try them. And I'll see you tomorrow.